Minecraft is one of the most popular games to speedrun in the world, but it really shouldn't be. This is the insane story of how speedrunners found ways to completely revolutionize the game, and because of that, it's now at the point where hundreds of people speedrun Minecraft daily. It wasn't easy to get here. I mean, even the phrase Minecraft speedrunning doesn't make sense. Minecraft is a sandbox game. The developers always say that they don't want to tell the players what to do, and well, that's kind of an issue. I mean, the literal guy who added the end to the game said,
kind of ideal way to play Minecraft is to play it in hardcore mode and never really beat the game.
yeah, that guy's known for his bad takes, but it shows that this entire community of thousands of players is, in Mojang's eyes, kind of an accident. They didn't want it to happen. And trust me, the story of how speedrunners have adapted and innovated to make it to where they are today is genuinely crazy. I've had to cut thousands of words from this script just to include the most insane stuff because the journey is just that fascinating. Like, let's put this in perspective. The speedrun for Minecraft as it currently exists works because of the Nether update, with piglins and bastions making the way to beat the game quick so different. That's also basically the last time that Mojang ever did anything for the speedrunning scene. Ever since that update, they've actively worked to make the speedrun harder or slower or just less fun. Maybe it's not on purpose, but they're doing it. Like in the next update, they added brutes, which made trading in the bastions substantially more dangerous and harder to route. And then later, they decreased the chance of getting the trades you need to complete a speedrun, like ender pearls or string. And don't just take it from me. I asked some of Minecraft's best runners what they think about Mojang supporting speedrunning, and they said this.
I just think they don't think about it at all. They just make changes for like what they think the whole game looks like. There's no way they consider speedrunning, and then we just have to deal with it.
Newer versions came out and it's like, you think they just hate you. Brutes, oh my god. Brutes are an unnecessary evil.
I think there's a bit of a frustration, maybe like a disconnect or something. Just the recent versions are way harder, or not way harder, but they're way worse to speedrun.
And all of that is, okay, fine, manageable. A lot of games don't have speedrun scenes that are supported by the devs, but then you have to consider the reality of what speedrunning Minecraft is. It's a game of chance. Imagine, okay, that you have 100,000 perfect Minecraft players who will never make a mistake and play literally every run perfectly. Immediately, right out of the gate, if you put all of them in a single world, 99,886 could never get the world record. The overworld just doesn't have what they need to enter the nether close by, and it's done. Alright, now that we're down to just about 100 runs, let's zoom in a little, and thankfully, after this, you can just reset the seed without wasting too much time if the overworld doesn't look promising. However, from now on, you're having to play each of these seeds for about 2 minutes before the next step. Right, so the surviving runs now enter the nether, and once again, immediately, 75 just don't have the bastion nearby, so the run is dead. They just don't have it there. There's nothing they can do about it. It's just, that's how it is. Tough. Then, they need to get the right materials from piglins randomly trading with them, and if you don't get that, run dead again. Then, you need to get to the fortress. Hope the terrain is good, because if it's bad enough, you'll still be mining through netherrack by the time the world record is beating the game. Oh, and there has to actually be a fortress close by in the direction you pick, by the way, which is not guaranteed at all. So as a combination of all of those factors, about 12 more runs die there. Then the blazes need to spawn in and drop enough blaze rods with a 50-50 chance of getting a rod per blaze, and then you need to find a nearby stronghold, and another half of the remaining runs are gone there. Then you have to find the portal and enter the end. The still remaining runs die here, and then finally the dragon needs to purge in time for you to be able to kill it. Completely random, which kills off the last run, which means that out of 100,000 perfectly played Minecraft seeds, you'd only really be contending for a world record in one. That means even if we cut the overworlds, you have to play 100 seeds, each taking multiple minutes, meaning multiple hours of gameplay to get one run where you get a chance to actually try and beat the world record. Not that you get the world record, by the way, because you still have to play it perfectly to even get to those numbers, but just to get a chance. Run after run after run after run, resetting over and over and over, hoping, praying to be allowed the chance to even try to compete for the world record. Now, I've simplified that a lot, but you get the point I'm making, right? Speedrunning used to be absolutely miserable. Not because it wasn't fun, but because there was this looming specter of you getting absolutely owned for no other reason than the fact that you just got unlucky. And then, even worse, but the runners are human. You could roll the best seed possible, you could play it amazingly well, but at the end of the day, every top runner can immediately tell when they have a once-in-a-lifetime world that they've rolled.
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous.
You have to contend with actually playing perfectly under that insane level of pressure. Oh, and just to add the cherry on top, in case you're still not convinced that speedrunners were facing some of the toughest and most mentally grueling conditions constantly, even if you do all of that perfectly, it can still go wrong.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
It just felt like Minecraft speedrunners had gotten unlucky. But the thing is, there's a solution to getting unlucky. And it's pretty simple, right? All you've got to do is just stop relying on luck. Speedrunners of any type are known for their ingenuity, their amazing skill, and their ability to overcome any kind of odds. And really quick, the Minecraft community was making huge discoveries, using insane tricks to tilt the odds in their favor more and more. Like, remember that perfect player run we just talked about? The first thing that wiped out almost all of those runners was just finding the right overworld. So why not optimize that? Instead of checking just one seed every few seconds, have multiple worlds constantly loading at the same time, so you can just pick the ones that have a clear enter on the screen right from the loading. Suddenly, you're spending much less time resetting overworlds, and that means you get to perform runs much more often.
Once every 2 minutes is way more fun than once every 10. Like, even if it's still good, once every 10 minutes, it's just more fun.
The next thing that could kill a run? Finding the bastion. Instead of just picking a random vague direction and hoping that the structure loaded in, a runner called K4 realized that they could use Minecraft's F3 screen to perform a tactic called E-rigging. You see, if Minecraft is loading a bastion, it also immediately loads all of the piglins that are in that bastion, which are all technically entities. And the F3 screen can tell you how many of those entities are loaded even if you can't see them. It's like X-ray for mobs. Since the Nether doesn't usually have that many entities apart from bastions, you can lower your field of vision and then spin in a circle to see how many entities are within the space you're looking at. And if it spikes, that's a bastion. Suddenly, runners could basically see through walls. But it gets even better than that, because the F3 screen has another incredibly useful tool, this pie chart. Using this chart, runners are able to detect spawners, which are basically only found in fortresses in the Nether, and use chunk borders to figure out exactly how far the fortress is. Again, removing the need to actually have to physically see and check for a fortress, and making the run that much more efficient. Oh, and I forgot, I said terrain was an issue then, right? Runners started implementing a technique called pearl hanging, where you throw an ender pearl and then lower your render distance, meaning that the pearl can't land, it's in an unloaded chunk. But that means that runners could now basically overlap running to the fortress or to the bastion with just waiting around for trades to finish, and then once they're done, increase your render distance, the pearl lands, and you're instantly TPing out the second you're done. So now runners had figured out all these genius ways to tilt the odds in their favor up till the time that you leave the Nether. There are two pretty huge risks that still exist. The first, runners have to find where the stronghold is, and right now they're literally using rough trigonometry to estimate how far the stronghold is based on eye throws. I mean, hey, it works, but there's suddenly a big risk involved with getting to the stronghold. 1 block in Nether is 8 in the overworld, which means that the fastest way to get to the stronghold quick is usually by going back through your Nether portal and running to where you think the stronghold would be in the Nether, and then portaling back. But that's a gamble, because you see, obviously runners would love to portal right into the stronghold, something that's called eye spying. But strongholds are usually buried deep underground. Building your Nether portal at super low coordinates means you're more likely to eye spy, but it also means that if you're just a little off, which is pretty common when you're using rough mental math to do trigonometry, you might come out inside of a cave and still be a few dozen blocks off the stronghold.
If your second portal misses and you're just somewhere on the surface, then, well, unlucky.
GG.
You're probably like a few hundred blocks away. Nice guess.
This part of the run was such a drag that even if you had a semi-decent run, eye spying meant that you were suddenly on world record pace. It was almost 3 or 4 entire minutes of time saved. It's how the sub 10 barrier was broken. But the thing is, it's just not consistent to hope that you eye spy. The solution that runners came up for this had actually existed for a while, and it was the subject of a heated debate. A poll was run on speedrun.com for Minecraft that saw perhaps the most influential change to Minecraft speedrunning rules ever. They unbanned calculators. Now there's a ton of math behind this, literally an entire paper about the advanced probability and calculus that's used, but what this meant was now, just with a single eye throw, a calculator created by Ninja Brain meant that runners could know with almost 100% certainty exactly where to build their nether portals to eye spy every single time.
Man, that was so necessary. It stops having 90% of runs die to something you just can't control when you're like 70% of the run.
Only one random obstacle was left then. Runners have gotten all the way to the end with as much risk mitigation and skill expression as possible, but they could still lose world record pace to random chance. And it's because of the one cycle. It's the easiest and quickest way to kill the Ender Dragon by damaging it with bed explosions, which are hugely powerful, quick to set up, and easily obtainable in speedruns thanks to string from the Bastion. But it's called a one cycle because runners killed the dragon in one cycle, as in when it comes down to the center fountain and perches for the first time. That's great, but the dragon can just not perch for minutes on end. And there are multiple runs that have been lost in the end purely due to the dragon just refusing to perch. It's the most soul-crushing way to lose a run. Imagine playing a once-in-a-lifetime seed perfectly up until the end, getting the luck you need, and executing with the insane skill required every single time. And then at the end of the most nerve-wracking 9 minutes possible, the game just doesn't let you win. It couldn't have felt worse. And then runners found it. The final, most insane, most skillful piece of the puzzle. The zero cycle. You see, the runner T-Wags, along with help from others such as Matthew Bowling, had discovered a way that a player could, if they teleported up to the top of one of the obsidian pillars early enough in the end, manipulate the dragon into flying around their heads, allowing them to set up beds and kill the dragon without having to wait for the perch. This technique was rough at first, but eventually it got so refined that top runners are able to zero cycle now consistently in basically every situation. And with that, runners had taken down nearly every single luck-based obstacle that they could in normal runs, and they'd achieved almost perfection. But of course, there was still chance in play. Drop rates, trade rates, even just having to reset to get the right spawn, they really couldn't be removed from the actual speedrun without fundamentally changing it. But what if you did fundamentally change it? This is Oliver, and he's one of the co-founders of Minecraft Speedrunning Ranked. And I'm not gonna mince words, I think that this guy is an absolute genius.
I think I already had it in my head that like there kind of needed to be some development in the game, because for RSG you kind of just need to reset super heavy if you're at the top level of the game and you're basically just like staring at the wall. It's like just a super hard grind to even play out a real seed, and so I feel like that's really tough on not only the runners, but it's like I definitely don't feel like it displays the game at like the level of excitement that it could be at.
So to explain, Ranked basically realized, hey, speedrunning is super fun, but getting unlucky isn't. So what if we just made sure that every time the luck was at least decent, and then made it into an actual competitive sport? Now you could practice runs with an absolute certainty that you're going to be measured based on your skill alone, and you're directly competing against someone else with the exact same luck on the exact same seed. It's just pure skill expression and competition. I can't stress enough how smart this system is. Before Ranked, you could do hundreds of hours of runs that went incredibly well, but unless you got a new personal best, you would have absolutely nothing to show for it. No progress, no feedback, no nothing. Ranked, however, has an elo system which rewards that kind of consistency and grind. It gives you constant feedback and rewards you with bragging rights, with proof that you were improving or making silly mistakes, letting you compete with people at your own skill level to really make sure you're being pushed to your limits. And at the end of the whole grind, they did another genius move. They added a playoffs tournament at the end, a live stream competition where the absolute best of the best got their time in the limelight and a chance to compete for a cash prize. They turned it into an esport. Multi-billion-dollar game studios set millions of dollars on fire every year just to run esports because they're that good at making people invested and interested in the game. And now suddenly that applies to little old Minecraft speedrunning? Mojang isn't even involved in this.
We get a huge player spike after every single playoffs, and a lot of those people stay.
So clearly something is working here. Ranked was an absolute masterstroke, and I think it's why Minecraft speedrunning has become as exciting and influential as it has today. And hey, I didn't forget about the actual speedrun itself either. With Ranked becoming so popular, it suddenly became much more fun to practice speedrun, meaning that nowadays you see runners in actual runs using techniques and strats that they only really found or were able to meaningfully practice because of Ranked, like better routes for nearly every bastion, or more zero cycle setups. Ranked reinvigorated the speedrun, not by actually changing the runs themselves, but by changing how people practice for and approach the runs. It made it much easier to perfect your craft and measure your progress in an actual run-like environment. And all of this is why I say that ranked blowing up has revolutionized speedrunning on both YouTube and Twitch. It let Minecraft viewers actually participate and take part in the stuff that they loved watching. No more desperately hoping that the vanilla SMP you join is as fun as Hermitcraft, when you can literally play the exact same game as your favorite streamer and even beat them if you're good enough. These days, if you're watching a speedrunner stream, chances are that most, if not all, of the chatters in that stream have played rank and have their own elo ratings as well. It also made speedrunning on Twitch so much more interesting to watch as well, because now instead of watching hours and hours of resetting to see 1 or 2 actual runs, ranked was constant action. Or well, it usually was. And with all of that attention on YouTube, it means that Minecraft speedrunning itself is now getting interest from huge creators like Ludwig, who's I mean, he's got the spirit, for sure. And Tubbo, who created one of the most interesting and fun concepts for a Minecraft event I've ever seen. I'll explain it because it's kind of insanely smart. Basically, he recruited 16 content creators who had almost all never speedrun Minecraft before, and paired them with top-level runners for about a week of hardcore training. Then, they battled it out in a tournament that produced some of the most hype and memorable moments of any Minecraft event that I can remember, rivaling, and some would say even surpassing, legendary events like MCC in terms of just how much fun it is to watch. Midoffs, which was the name of the tournament, was so successful that they've already done a second season, which only improved on how awesome the original one was. Oh, and remember how I said that ranked had basically turned speedrunning into an esport? Actual pros from other esports from million-dollar games are now reaching out and collaborating with the Minecraft speedrunning scene because of how interesting and well-known it's become, with GeoGuessr collabing with speedrunners for an event called the Coordinate Cup. MCSR tournaments, Minecraft speedrunning ranked tournaments, are even being held in person, with a recent LAN tournament organized by 2 members of the community literally selling out its venue. Minecraft speedrunners were faced with some of the toughest challenges of any community, and with your ingenuity, skill, and, let's face it, just the right amount of luck, I'm certain that this community is the most exciting place to be a part of right now, and I don't think it'll be slowing down any time soon. If you want to see more of my stuff, check out some of the videos on screen and subscribe.